Welcome. We're the Macomb County Genealogy Group. You can find MCGG at our blog website, on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Mastodon, and at our YouTube channel. You can contact us at either of the emails shown on the screen. The MCGG Friday group has been meeting for 52 years, and our MCGG Let's Talk Genealogy discussion group has been meeting for 20 years. Many MCGG members volunteer their time in a variety of ways to benefit the genealogy community and the Mount Clemens Public Library. This is the MCGG Friday hybrid meeting, September 5th, 2025. Our topic today is What is Going On, presented by Lisa Eschenburg and Robert McGarry. If this is your first time attending a MCGG meeting, welcome. Attend a meeting and you are a member. MCGG has no dues. If you would like to be added to our mailing list, please let us know at the email shown on the screen. We try to keep our emails down to a reasonable number each month, mostly meeting reminders. Here are some zoom pointers. To make the zoom toolbar appear at the bottom of the window, simply run your pointer over the zoom window. In the lower left, you'll find clickable controls for mute, unmute audio, and start, stop video. Use the carrots to check or change your microphone or camera. Towards the middle of the toolbar, you will find the open and close buttons for the participants and chat windows that appear at the right side. When you are in full screen mode, these two windows float above the main window. Exit full screen with the pop-down menu at the top center of the main Zoom window. In the top right corner of the view screen, you can change what and how you are viewing Zoom. Standard view with the gallery above the screen view of the person speaking or sharing his or her screen is the large view you see here. There is also a side-by-side gallery view, see the inset picture, and side-by-side speaker view, which is very similar to it. Full screen share gives the largest view of the screen of slides. The next largest view of a screen of slides is a standard with the gallery above view. You can also switch between the speaker and gallery views. You find the chat type area at the bottom of the chat window. We ask that you start with a Q colon before any questions. If there is a handout PDF, we may share a link to it in the chat when possible. Now, let's get started.
All right, we'll get started. Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Fall 2025 MCGG series. Today we're going to go over what's going on, simply because it's been a busy summer from the genealogical world. And one of the big things that affects genealogists, since we're all pretty computer dependent, is Windows. And a lot of people are caught up in Microsoft sunsetting Windows 10. So Lisa's going to do a part of the presentation on some of the trials and tribulations of upgrading to Windows 11.
Felt like it is. I was in the Microsoft circles of hell.
And also offer you some other possible alternatives if you haven't gone down that road yet. And then we'll talk about some of the other things that are happening with Ancestry and 23andMe and some of the other data sites. So Lisa, do you want to start with your presentation and share your screen?
Presentation.
Our presentation, and you're part of it.
Okay, so welcome and let's get started. For those in the room, Brittany's going to print 4 more copies. They'll be in black and white because it'll be quicker. So she'll bring those in when they're done printing. And for those that don't have a handout with them, I'll be one shortly. Okay, so
Large print, please.
there's a couple spots where it's 9.5. I got most of it back up to 11.
I'm ready
Or
for
10.
cataract surgery.
Okay, there's who needs a copy? So on that side, one over there,
Thank you.
and one for the middle to be fought over by the next people who come in. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so the circles of hell. That's what my misadventure felt like. This presentation topic, what's going on, was inspired by my experience. So I'm pretty knowledgeable about a wide variety of topics. So it was surprising to me that Microsoft's OneDrive integration into Windows 11 and somewhat later editions of Windows 10 could so easily mess up not one, not two, but almost 3 computers. You're not alone, Dwayne.
I got a guy.
Well, if I was aware of some of this, it's likely other less techy people, members, might benefit from some shared knowledge. Then I thought, what else has been happening in the genealogy and related communities, and what maybe was missed by members as well. So I ended up looking out because I only had the free measly 5 gigabyte Microsoft account. I don't have the subscription 365. I have the standalone Office product, and so I only have 5 gigabyte free. And not a lot of damage occurred, thankfully. It's still a mess. Clean up. So if you haven't heard, Windows 10 is ending. Has everyone heard this?
Yes.
Good. We were not all under rocks. So October 14th, 2025, just a little more than a month away, is the date of extinction for Windows 10. That's in the handout. Microsoft is ending technical assistance, feature updates, security updates for Windows 10. And if you know, that's what's going to happen. The reason is Microsoft feels that Windows 11 provides a more modern, secure, and highly efficient experience. Too efficient for some things, but unfortunately, not all computers will meet the specifications needed to be able to upgrade. So devices about 5 to 8 years old and older may not meet the specifications, but also remember to consider check your must-have software and applications. Can they run on Windows 11 also? Do they or don't they? Do you need maybe to upgrade your software too? So to check your PC, if it's eligible for the free upgrade, go to Start, Settings, Update and Security, Windows Update, and check for updates. Now that's all in the handout, so don't need to worry about that. On the right side, you should see a link that by now says if your device can or cannot run Windows 11. The one computer laptop we got from my mom is 9 years old, I think it is. It cannot run Windows 11. Mine could run Windows 11, however, it's not enough space for it. Explain that later.
So if you use it for basic things, not really. It doesn't run at all.
Will run.
It'll run in the
But yeah,
You wouldn't want to use it on the internet.
right. Okay.
slag. You got a little security blanket coming. So you can also check it using the PC health check. But it's not going to look at the graphics card or the display compatibility, which most computers that works out. It's very few of us have little tiny diagonal 9-inch screens. So usually that works out.
I read that last night and I went through to check if I'm eligible. I went through those steps, and it said that my computer was updated to Windows 11 successfully last March. I didn't even know it. And it had updated in March for version 22H2. And then in April, it updated to 23H2. And then this year in February, successfully installed Windows version 24H2.
I know it tried to make me do it.
I didn't know I
At
did.
one point, you get to
Yeah.
this blue, black kind of screen, and
BSOD, blue screen of death.
well, no, it's where you got the choice. They don't off on this side. There was a button to click that would no, I don't want to do this right now.
Mm.
The other two were like, do it now or let me set the time.
Yeah.
But there's a nondescript little button over here on this side that you could get out of.
I must have missed it.
So I had that last year too.
I came back
said,
from California and it was
"No, I'm
doing all
not
this
doing
stuff.
that
and
right
it's like,
now.
oh, what the heck? So I guess I'm all set.
Yeah,
So is it
you're good.
running?
Nothing
the way
changed.
you
It was slow.
expected?
It was slow for a while while
Uh-huh.
everything was downloading because I have slow internet.
Right.
But I haven't seen any difference at all, and I didn't even realize I had it.
Wow, that's
Sometimes it
encouraging.
works out.
And my
Sometimes it
computer's
works
old.
out.
I can't even remember how. old.
Mine had, I was able to clear up 6 GB of space because I've been having some Zoom problems.
Oh.
Because I was down to like 2 gigs, and that's really too small to do a lot of things. I managed to clean it up to 6, but then 2 disappeared again. So I was working with 4 and trying to keep the 4, and it's
Frustrating.
frustrating. Yeah.
That's the
So
word.
Does anybody have any problems with Google Photos
no.
on their phone?
Other than,
Every time I let them in, they tell me you're packed. They
Well-
take a lot of pictures.
that's why the problem. We'll let you go on and then I'll talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Do you have an iPhone or an Android?
Android.
Because I have an iPhone and I pay 99 cents a month for extra storage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my daughter's starting to do that
Okay.
on hers too, but I think they just fuck everything. And I don't like it.
There's ways to adjust what they back up. Okay.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are you to do? Upgrade, new computer, things to check. So there's some technical requirements needed to run Windows 11. The link at the bottom of the slide is on your handout. So there's a variety of minimum requirements. Processor, 1 gigahertz or faster, 2 or more cores, compatible with a 64-bit processor, or system on a chip. 4 gigabytes of RAM. The RAM is the brain memory for the computer. 64 gigabytes or larger storage device. That's where your files are sitting. UEFI, secure boot capable. The trusted platform module, PPM version 2. This is where a lot of the older computers don't meet the requirement. Graphics card compatible with DirectX 12 or later, and everyone's eyes are glazing over. So these are the minimum requirements. And then obviously an internet connection and a Microsoft account during the initial device setup. So if you can upgrade to Windows 11, it's up to you to decide when to make the leap. Unless you realize you're making the leap,
Last year.
realize it.
Last March.
So your worries are settled.
Thank
So
goodness.
check your programs and applications for compatibility. Will they work, or do you need to upgrade your versions? Remember to back up your whole computer first so you do not lose any data. Either use a cloud service to back up, not sync, or use an external drive using backup software, which can usually back up files in use as well, or by manually copying at least your data files, or doing a combination of both. 3-2-1 is our backup mantra. Maintain at least 3 copies of your data. Keep 2 copies stored at separate locations, and store at least 1 copy at an off-site location. That could be the cloud or a family member's or somewhere. So if you can't upgrade to Windows 11,
Can you repeat that 3-2?
it's in your handout.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Try to make sure everyone didn't have to take a lot of notes except for thoughts that you had regarding your own
I wrote it
situation.
down. I'll look it up.
Okay, so Windows 10 will keep working, but eventually will be more vulnerable to security issues, and other programs like virus and security programs will stop creating new versions that will run on Windows 10. It'll take a little while, but eventually. And eventually, you will need a new device because you really don't want to be floating on the internet without security protection. Your viruses security programs will provide some of that, but naked Windows is a naked Windows. Not updated for any little holes one of the hackers finds. So, though end-of-life events for prior Windows versions have often included extended security updates, ESUs, for businesses, this is the first time a one-time ESU is offered to consumers. An ESU is where, for a set time frame, you will receive critical and important security updates as defined by the Microsoft Security Response Center for devices running Windows 10 version 22H2. Does not provide other types of fixes like feature improvements or product enhancements, nor technical support. At least they'll keep patching the spackle on the Windows for a year. So, ESU program for consumers ends October 13th, 2026. You can enroll at any point for that date. The program ends on that date regardless. So this option gives you a light security blanket, essentially for a year to continue running Windows 10. Those that can upgrade, it gives you a little more time to get a backup plan in place. She should already have, but many might not. So before you upgrade, if you decide to do so, holiday sales for external drives. Get this backup and situate it and done, and then worry about the next step, which may be super easy or not so easy. Okay, so for those that can't upgrade, it gives a little more time to purchase a new Windows 11 device. Holiday sales. Things are going to go on sale. New models are coming out. The older models will be discounted some more. Microsoft, besides what was going on for back to school sales and all that stuff. So Microsoft has had some problems implementing the ESU program for consumers. So if you haven't found it on your Windows Update page, it should be rolled out soon. So I think it's supposed to appear in the lower left corner area. Because the right will tell you if you can upgrade or not, and then ESU should be down there. But you can always go to your Microsoft account and enroll that way, which is what you end up doing anyways, because it's just a link down there. So to enroll in the ESU program, devices need to be running Windows 10 version 22H2, Home, Professional, Pro Education, or Workstation Edition. Devices need to have the latest update installed. The Microsoft account used to sign into the device must be an administrator account. ESU license is tied to your Microsoft account, so you may be prompted to sign in if you're not signed in already. Microsoft account can't be a child account. There are steps to set up another account on the child's device if it was not done at the time of purchase. So an adult account can enroll the device in the ESU. So there are 3 ESU options. These are in your handouts too. At no additional cost, if you are syncing your PC settings, this means using OneDrive. I've got the link there. It's in your handout that explains this. But if you're going this route, do not have a subscription to Microsoft 365 OneDrive. You will want to uncheck backing up your standard folders. If you don't have the subscription account, the pay account where you get more space, if that backup's on, you're already getting messages that you need to buy more space. So,
ESU?
no, on the OneDrive, the Windows. If you are getting messages from Windows, your Microsoft, that you're out of space, it's because OneDrive is trying to back up everything, and 5 gigabyte did not hold
Oh, that's your computer.
99.9% of
Yes.
people's, what they have on their hard drive. Because we all have lots of files. So you'll get that message, and I didn't realize that at that point, that the later versions of Windows 10, the OneDrive seems a little more aggressive and self-activates. So I was getting that message, and I'm thinking, I'm not backing up there. Why is it? I did not investigate
Yes.
because I knew I wasn't using it, but oh, me.
OneDrive is your computer, right?
Well,
The main.
the Windows update that happened a couple months ago turned it on, and was using it, but I wasn't.
You didn't
So-
know? I guess,
I didn't
right?
know.
You didn't know?
Yes.
And I'm techie. So you'll also want a separate Microsoft account for each device. If you're planning to use OneDrive to synchronize everything, or you don't use the standard folders that Microsoft sets up so that they're empty and take up very little storage room, and talk about that part when we get to OneDrive. So the second option for ESU is to redeem 1,000 Microsoft reward points. If you use Edge or Bing, you see your points next to your account login name, and so you know how much you have. I've been doing these AI images for the posters and all that. Still only have 85 points. So it takes a while to because I don't use Edge as my main browser. So
What do you use?
I use Chrome.
I use Edge, but I never look.
If you're signed into your Microsoft
You
account,
know, it should
show.
give you your points.
Yeah.
I find it interesting though, because every time I use heavy AI, Adobe charges me. I have so many AI credits with my Adobe accounts.
See, I'm using the one in Bing,
Yeah.
and it's actually Chat GPT that they're
And I'm using
releasing.
the one in Photoshop.
So
Geez, we need a computer class.
Pardon?
yeah.
We need an update on a computer class refresher.
The third option for ESU is a one-time purchase, $30 for us in the States, plus applicable tax. And either of these three routes, you can use your existing ESU license on up to 10 devices. So it's not horrendously, there's 3 ways to go
This is
about
in
it,
the notes.
and there's a
She's
pay
right
way
there.
if you
There's a
decide
pay
you don't
ways.
want to deal with
I think
this.
she's saying this.
Yeah.
We can follow along.
Yeah.
We didn't want to write it over.
Yeah.
So you enroll in the ESU by signing into your Microsoft account on Microsoft.com, going to your account, finding the link on the left-hand column, and enrolling the ESU does not prevent you from upgrading to Windows 11 at a later date. So you can extend your use of Windows 10 and then decide to upgrade, assuming your device meets the requirements. All right. So considerations when purchasing new Windows device. It's an expensive option, yes. Make a list of your need to haves and your want to haves before you shop. An example of this is a backlit keyboard or a number pad may be nice, but would you trade off on those if it meant a 14-inch laptop with a faster processor or more RAM rather than the 16-inch laptop with the numpad? You know, what features are you willing to trade off on when you make this decision? You have to have a 17-inch laptop, or would a 16-inch work just as well? Decided on 16. Remember, Chrome-based computers cannot run most programs and applications, like your genealogy program, because they are essentially dummy internet terminals. Also, most tablets cannot run most programs and applications either. So essentially then, Windows PC or Mac is your first choice to make. If Mac realized the computers cost much more than the comparable Windows PCs, sometimes the software as well, but sometimes you can, depending on the software manufacturer, you may be able to switch without any issues. If you switch, apps may or may not need to be repurchased.
Purchased.
So shop around at reputable retailers, make a list of what you're finding and track the pricing. Consider brands if you haven't heard of it, be cautious. But do you need a Dell? Maybe an HP or another PC manufacturer will provide a better value, more for your buck. That's why I'm now HP. Got more bang for my buck. So review your programs and applications for the minimum system requirements. That's one of the first steps. No use in buying a new computer if you don't have enough RAM to run it.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of programs? Then maybe a small drive is not the best option. Files can always go on external drives without much problem. Programs and applications can be another matter. Now, I had other computer had a small SSD drive for the operating system, and a 1 terabyte drive inside. I was able, because they're always there, to install most of my apps on the larger drive rather than the smaller operating system drive. However, I still did run out of room. So if you're not all out in the cloud and all that stuff, small operating drive may not be the best situation for you. Or you got to learn how to operate in the cloud.
Yes.
So thinking behind those small SSDs was that many programs were shifting to internet-based, cloud-based subscription access. So file storage would go that route also. So it would just be some programs stored locally, but not everyone has taken that shift as far as program manufacturers. So also remember, most laptops nowadays do not have card readers. So your SSD cards from your cameras, if you're still using digital cameras and whatnot, or other devices, may not be a built-in reader. DVD and CD burners, they have gone the route of the dodo.
It's almost impossible to get.
Yeah, I've seen a couple devices that would have it, but they're really expensive. They're like gaming computers and things like that.
Yeah.
But so now they have the option to buy a external CD DVD player burner. So
They're about $50.
yeah, they're not bad. Also, your inputs and your outputs on your devices are really changed. There's a lot less of them. You hopefully have an HDMI to hook in an external monitor or device.
Thank you.
If you're lucky, there's a couple USB-As, the full size. USB port. Most of them are using USB-C, which is the tiny ones. So this is your USB-A. What we've known for years.
20, 30 years.
Yeah. This is USB-C. Thunderbolt looks very similar,
Thunderbolt uses the same connector.
the same connection. So these are your two things. So if you have a lot of USB drives with this, you only have this, you need one of these adapters. This is the USB-A C to A, and this is an A to a C. I love these things. Got them on Amazon. And they even make some that have multiple. This is a USB-C to 3 USB-As. It really helps.
Is that one in particular a good one? Is that or no?
It's just
because I just bought.
I just picked one that had the variety I needed and went with it.
Good.
Well, that's for a different situation. What you may need is a hub. This is a hub. They have all different kinds. This one happens to have an SD reader or quad in it. And a micro.
Yeah.
And another HDMI, and then 5 USB-As and 1 USB-C. And this connects with a USB-C. You can get them where like this could connect to a USB-A, which was my old computer. So trying to hook in that, I needed an adapter. Now I don't, I just plug it straight in. So they come with A's or C's on this end and a variety of different situations.
Generally though, if it's going to be an A connection to the computer, it's not going to have C connections on the hub, whereas it'll go the other way.
The C's have a bit more flexibility.
Yeah.
So if your device has C's, plug it into there.
Yeah. For example, my hub right here, from one connection, I'm powering both my external monitor and my computer, and I've got the HDMI going out to my external monitor off of one connection on my Mac, and PCs can do the same thing.
Most precious pictures, where do you store them?
External drive, backed up to another external drive.
Yes.
Backed up to the internet.
Do you put them?
Not that part, only some.
You put them in a cloud?
Well, mine are I actually have a cloud backup service that at 1 o'clock in the morning, my computer automatically updates every changed file up to that.
I haven't gone to cloud stuff. I've got
Google,
external, and hard drive.
I have Google Drive. I bought extra space because you get 15 gigabytes free. And that's your email and your photo storage and all that stuff.
Okay.
I went through that. I went through that. It took a while, but I went through that. So then I bought extra space because I have some digitized home videos from my dad's 8mm camera that I had digitized before we got the digitizer in here, but the same digitizer. And
when you say digitized, did you take them from a CD and put them in something else? Or was it from
the Genealogy digitization lab has a Wolverine 8mm Super 8 system that runs through in real time your film and digitizes it to an SD card.
What about if they're on a CD? What is that the best place to keep them? Just leave them there right now?
No, absolutely not.
Because CD, you know.
Oh, because there's no, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I put it on then? From
What
a
you're
CD
going to do is
what?
copy those files onto an external drive.
Okay.
And then how, just treat it like your photos. Copy
and then put it. Is it safe to put it on a jump drive then, or no?
No, not a jump drive.
Drives are not.
Yeah, not a jump drive. We'll talk about external
reliable.
drives.
No, we can add it. Yeah, we can add that. Yeah.
Well, I was going to talk about them when I got to my slide, but
all right. So I will figure out where I am in here.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I
this
know
is a confusing topic for most people.
I'm just
Everyone
jumping
has
in on
questions.
what I get stuck at.
Okay, so we keep reminding you to review your programs, and I talked about small drive situation, and okay, I talked about hubs. I got this slide done. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, so my considerations is get as much RAM, the computer brain,
Right.
as you can, because that's one thing, especially nowadays, they're not making it adaptable, so you can just buy a new memory chip and replace it with a bigger one. These are in there. Consider your computer processor speed. Brand Intel, AMD. I'm finding mom's device has an AMD versus the Intel, just as good. So when you're comparing devices, just keep that in mind. Is it a 3, is it a 5, a 7, or a 9? Between that, if you do a deep dive, you'll find that some 7s are slower than 5s, and so
This safe if I have I've got a desktop that I built. It's safe to just keep going on that and having them build and build and build.
if they can.
If
Yeah, they can,
But
yeah.
the problem is you're gonna, to get the Windows 11, if it's not Windows 11 capable, they're gonna have to do a motherboard change.
Right, and he's got the Windows 11 on it already.
Okay, then the other thing to keep in mind is with heavily read-write SSDs, and especially with hard drives, figure a five to maximum 7-year active life. At that point, you're going to start getting little data errors if you don't
Okay.
replace them periodically.
What's that for? Or what drive? What's
Either a hard drive or a solid state drive.
Okay, yeah, he's talked about updating the whole, it's almost like rebuilding it again.
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
that
you
right?
can, the case and the power supply are fine. The problem is they're going to these itty bitty boxes that are about 4 inches square. And I call them mice that roar. I mean, I'm running Photoshop and Adobe Premiere Pro
Yeah. I bet
on
of that, yeah.
on a tiny Mac Mini, and
Yeah,
it runs fine. And that's where a lot of your Windows computers are going. Instead of the big powerful tower, they're going to these little bitty boxes.
but I
And
can keep my big power forever. As long as I got my guy that fixes.
Yes. So also get as much storage space as you can. As I found out, my SSD was 100 gigabyte, and I thought, okay, I'm really leery about that, but it worked for a while. But it's full. So especially if you're not going to go up in the cloud, and you're more, I want my stuff here, and I'm backing it up into
I'm
2,
afraid
3,
to
4
go in the
places. Anyway, so you want a larger drive. 1 terabyte is roomy, unless you are an aggressive user, have a bazillion files. I have a 2 gigabyte in here.
2 terabyte.
Terabyte. Yeah, sorry, terabyte. The gigabyte was the SSD. That one had the 100 gigabyte SSD and a 1 terabyte drive in it. This one has just a 2 terabyte drive. I think it's an SSD, if I remember right. So I made sure I had plenty of room. Then consider when that particular model that you're looking at to buy was initially released, 6 months ago or over a year ago. That means it's got older hardware, which may or not be affected by the next Windows.
Does anything affect your externals? Not really. Just there.
Other than just use.
Just there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I figured.
And good luck shopping
Yes.
if you need it.
Why is that?
Well,
There's some-
you gotta sort through all this
It's
information.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
It gets you like.
There's an
That's what
overwhelming
Google
amount of
did to me this
choices,
weekend.
and some of the brands that we trusted and we still trust aren't as good as they used to be.
Do you have trusted brands in mind?
We'll talk about that in a second.
And some salespeople are more knowledgeable than others too.
Yes.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
And some talk about they think they know, and then you listen and you go,
Yeah.
okay, and then Mm-mm.
And Bob and I are always be able to lend an ear and a sounding board.
Yes.
Did that just the other day.
Yeah.
All right, so Bob's thoughts.
Bob's
Here, if
thoughts.
you need it. I
Okay.
can't remember how many are here. I think
There's three or four. Windows PCs have changed again. If you're using if you're just web browsing, using your office type programs like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you've got a small document scanner, you're not doing high resolution scans, and your genealogy database programs, you can still stay very basic with your desktop or laptop. Again, those small cube computers starting to be released to compete with the Apple Mac Mini. By the way, the basic Apple Mac Mini is only $600. Bring your own monitor and keyboard and mouse, but it is a mouse that will roar. Most of the Windows versions are below $500 and are again compatible with most of your applications. Bring your existing monitor, keyboard, and mouse if modern enough. If I'm looking for one of those, I'm going to probably go with an Intel Core i3 or an AMD Ryzen 3. For that application, 8 gigabytes of RAM is fine. Now, with the Windows computer, probably I'd opt for more for the 512 internal solid state drive or SSD. You want to make sure you have USB-C with USB-A with a minimum USB 3.2 ports. What that allows you to do is get an external SSD. Like before, genealogy database programs would say, don't put your database on an external drive because they're too slow. This is fast enough to do video editing. This is a 2 terabyte. My entire photo library is on it. I've got probably 20 hours of video footage on it, and my genealogy databases are on
What
it.
is that?
This is a solid state drive.
That's called that you shop for a solid
SSD. And this particular one, because again, some of these are differently rated, and some of them do have the USB connection, but I can highly recommend the Samsung P7 because it is incredibly fast. Like I said, I've run tests on it, and it is fast enough to do high-level video editing right off of this drive.
big is it, or you?
This is 2 terabyte, but they do have a 1 terabyte version for about $90.
Okay.
I think this is about 130 for the 2 terabyte. So it's all right here.
Where did you get it online, or did you get it at like Office Depot or something?
I think I picked this up at Best Buy.
Best Buy. That's what Office Depot, Best Buy, yeah.
Best Buy, Office Depot, Staples sometimes.
Micro
Their selection varies.
Center.
And that's like
Costco.
and you treat it like
You
an
can find
external,
some.
just right?
Well, it
Pretty
is
much.
it is an external. I plug this in and it's ready to go. You just have to remember to eject it before you shut your computer down. Now, when you buy your external, buy 2. You don't
Buy 2 of those?
Well, you don't necessarily have to buy 2 of these. You can buy another slow one, but make it the same size. So what you can do is you can copy over to that, and that's then your backup.
Oh, okay. So whatever you do on here, you want to back it up.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
If you're
Repeat after me.
Back up.
back up. And you want one of those
That's right,
backups
3,
off.
2, 1.
Well, if it's 130, you can buy 2. 260. So one to another, and you go back up.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Main.
But I have, like I said, I've got probably 20 hours worth of high res video on here. I've got over 10,000 photos on here. And they're all high res photos. They're not little bitty JPEGs.
Yeah, I got.
So if you're going to do photo,
that sounds good.
if you're going to do photo or video editing, then you need the bigger computer. With Windows systems, Core i7 is a minimum, or if you go AMD Ryzen 7, you want at least 16 gigabytes. But here's one problem with Windows. When we get into the newer graphics intensive programs like Photoshop and Premiere Pro and whatnot, the standard graphics that Intel puts in their chips doesn't work. You need an NVIDIA graphics, but you also need at least 6 gigabytes of dedicated graphics memory because the graphics
So you
chips.
don't just want an integrated graphics, you want a dedicated graphics. That way it has its own power or
I don't understand the difference.
memory.
Integrated
Is built into the motherboard, the
okay.
processor board,
Okay, so you
and it's not swappable.
Right.
In most
oh,
cases.
so you want to have a lot of integrated.
Yeah,
what you're
because
saying.
what
Not integrate, dedicated.
you want dedicated.
Where does that come from?
It's a separate
Separate.
board they put in the computer. And
Oh,
they'll put
okay.
separate memory chips into that graphics because Windows doesn't play well sharing the main
RAM.
memory with graphics. And that's where people get into problems when they're trying to do video editing or Photoshop on a Windows computer. It's really not the level of the Windows processor or how much RAM. I mean, you can put 32 gigabytes of RAM in there.
That's what I
if
keep
you-
thinking runs out, and it's not that probably then.
If you've got a graphics card with a tiny amount of RAM, it's only going to use that tiny amount of RAM on the graphics card, and that 32 gigabytes isn't going to help you.
So how much integrated graphics do
At
you?
least 6.
Dedicated.
Dedicated, you want 6?
Dedicated, you want at least 6.
And what about the integrated? Is that
Integrated, if you're going to do heavy photo editing, just avoid that whole idea right there.
what does that mean? Just don't worry about it.
The-
Don't
When you see the shopping list,
the shopping
when you
list.
see the description of the device,
Yeah.
it will tell you i5 or i7, whatever, Intel processor or the AMD processor, and it will say whether the graphics is integrated or dedicated, even
Okay.
in the specs.
Right.
Yes, in the specs.
But
And
if you
it
guys
should,
aren't doing photo editing or
Don't worry
anything,
about
you
this.
don't have to worry about this.
So
So
I do 24/7.
well, if
So
you're, if
for
you're,
those that aren't planning on don't
So
panic.
do I just tell my guy that I want this?
well,
It is page 3.
Or do I buy it?
well, what I would, you
Yeah.
can buy it. What do you use for your photo editing?
Shop.
Adobe Photoshop?
Mhm.
Adobe has some really good specifications on there for PCs. And I will tell you in my own experience, Mac just blows PCs away with Photoshop. You could take
It has an old Mac.
you can take an entry level M4 or any Apple chip Mac that will just blow away a PC unless it's built out to like 5 times more expensive than the Mac on Photoshop. It's just I had
We
a
both agree? She's into HP now.
so
It used to be Matt.
Okay,
Well,
so,
before he-
I mean, I have a Dell, so does that mean that he could just change it to whatever?
Depends on how it's built.
yeah, it depends on how it's built, and especially if it's a laptop, it's hard to
It's a
upgrade the
hard-
graphics.
it's
It's
a
almost
Desktop.
It de- That's
top, yeah, you can put in an NVIDIA graphics card, but you're probably going to spend $200-300 on that graphics card.
Well, I know, he did, I mean, if we do a 500 upgrade, that's, I mean, not that it's so easy, but
Yeah, and a lot too depends on
my husband
how
will just keep going. "Hey, this is what you need. This is what you want. Are you ready for this?
yeah. Are you ready to write the check?
Yeah.
So begin, and then if you're doing heavy Photoshop, or especially if you're doing video, upgrade to a T9 drive. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're faster than the T7s.
the center button.
Center button.
Whoops, what the?
Oh, well, you store your videos on there, right? You? Okay, because I've got
Okay,
like
I
a lot
gotcha.
of little clippets.
There you
Okay, here's my thoughts on switching a Mac. And this is where a lot of people, they look at, okay, I'm going to do something heavy. My PC's going to cost me X. They look at a comparable Mac and they go, oh my God, they're so expensive. An entry level M4 Mac Mini or MacBook Air is more than adequate unless you're doing really high level video editing. The 13-inch MacBook Air, of course, this is an M2, but the current one's an M4. It's $1,000 laptop. Comes with 16 gigs. It comes with Mac graphics, which work fine with Photoshop, and it's going to run just fine. You just need the external drive because it only has a 256 gigabyte hard drive or SSD in the computer. As far as software goes, if you're a RootsMagic user, just download the 64-bit Mac version and put in your license key and you're fine. If you're on 10, if you're on the earlier versions, you might have some issues. If you're a Microsoft Office subscriber, just download the Office programs directly from the Mac App Store and log in with your Microsoft account. Done. But things keep in mind, if you've got older versions of Office, and you're not necessarily tied to Word and Excel, Macs also includes their own spreadsheet, their own word processor, and their own version of PowerPoint called Numbers, Pages, and Keynote, which will directly read Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files. And I actually prefer Keynote to PowerPoint. I do most of my presentations now in Keynote, even though I have both software on my computer. Now, important, Mac computers only come with USB ports, so plan on buying some kind of USB-C, so plan on buying something like this for your card reader and your HDMI and the like. Now, the Mac Minis do have an HDMI port, so they'll hook up to one monitor, but when I'm sitting at my desktop, I typically have 3.
When you unplug that, how do you disconnect it from your computer? Where do you go?
I go to
Like you said, to do it safely.
in Windows, in the taskbar, there's a little eject point over in the far right.
Yeah.
In Mac, we have something called Finder, which is like Windows Explorer.
I just wanted to make sure that was still okay.
And
Yeah,
I can
that's what you should
go
do,
in
not
there and
just
eject
yank.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't. The only time I would ever yank it is if all of a sudden I got hit with a virus. I'd pull it out so it wouldn't hit the drive. I figure I can repair that easier than I can repair a virus. So
Well, at least you sunk it in, that's really important because we all have our.
We try. I got him.
okay, you got
Okay,
it.
I got it. Next slide.
Okay.
Okay. You have another one?
No, that was it.
Okay. All right, back to me. So with Windows 11, the handout is going to cover a lot more than what I'm going to mention here. I'm going to be brief because I don't want us all falling asleep. Our advice is review your Windows 11 settings before you start using your device. Make sure the device is set up the way you want it, not the way Microsoft thinks you want it. And remember to keep an eye out when starting up your device to make sure the latest update hasn't changed settings or added any surprises. On OneDrive. So let's do a quick review first. A local account is one specific to one device. You can keep using it to sign into your device. Just sign into your Microsoft account when needed. I didn't have a Microsoft account when I started using PCs and all that. I forget when I started it, but it's been a while. So I just sign in with my local account to my computer. Not anything. So Microsoft account can be used across multiple devices and Microsoft services. It gives you access to cloud storage, to OneDrive for file syncing, and a Microsoft account can be created with one of your existing email accounts. So if you have certain Microsoft emails, they're listed in handout, you actually have Microsoft account. Now let's see, that's Outlook, Live, Hotmail, or if you have an Xbox. Got any gamers in here? So that would mean you have a Microsoft account.
Okay, so
So that's that little review.
Then that puts you into Microsoft. You have an account then.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what you use to sign in. So in the Windows Start, you should find a startup pin for settings. That's where you go to the little window icon down in your taskbar,
Mhm.
and the window that pops up, that's Windows Start. So there should be an icon startup pin there for settings. Windows settings includes home, system, Bluetooth and devices, network and internet, personalization, apps, accounts, time, language, privacy and security, and Windows Update. If you're not a very techie person, this is the scary area of your computer. Don't be scared. So system clipboard, I found this out and I did realize it because I wasn't thinking I was using OneDrive anyways. You can set the clipboard history to go across your devices if you are syncing. So you're working on one computer and you're using a clipboard to save something, you can actually access that clipboard history from your other device. You can keep it on or you can turn it off. That's up to you. You don't see a need to mom's computer to access my clipboard history.
Yeah.
You confuse her. So system, power, and battery. Adjust your screen, sleep, and hibernate timeouts based on what's ideal for you. Need a longer time before it actually goes to sleep, you can extend that. And you can change these settings based on, are you plugged in or are you running on the battery? The system, lid and power button controls. You can adjust what happens when you're plugged in or on battery. Tips and things. Bluetooth and devices, your touchpad. You're typing and things bounce around. Ever have that happen? Trying to type, and you can adjust the sensitivity of your touchpad so it's not so sensitive and it doesn't bounce your cursor around and like, why did it do that? There's additional tweaks if you are an advanced touchpad user. I hate the touchpad, so I didn't go into there. I just turned down the sensitivity so that I would stop doing that. You can personalize. This is the part most people know. Personalization, your background image, your colors, your themes, to make your device reflect you. And if some of you saw, I've got tulips for my desktop, part of the personalization. You can personalization. So under personalization, you can adjust the start. Just start window, that window that pops up when you click on the Windows icon and taskbar. You want more pins versus recommendations. I think pins are more useful than recommendations. So you can choose which start pins are there and the order of them. The taskbar, you could personalize that. You could, Windows 11 brought you the center aligned taskbar.
Where's the pins at?
In the start up window, you have two different types of pins. You have start pins and you have taskbar pins.
Okay.
So start, you can adjust both of them.
There's pins there when you start.
For the taskbar, Windows 11 is centered. You can tell it to left align. It's not going to be exactly like Windows 10, but your muscle memory, well, thank you. If you shift it to 10, that's or to the left. You can make other changes right in the taskbar, and that's in your handout. Don't need the HP store or whatever store icon to buy your ink or whatever. Just right click and unpin it.
The warranty won't cover. Does she need a whole new engine?
And then got certain things that I like to use. The character map, the calculator, and the snipping tool. I've got those pinned down to my taskbar for easy access. I don't have to go dig in the start menu and find them, activate them, or remember the shortcut to activate them. That's default. You can tell Windows 11 or whatever Windows which apps you prefer to use. So I can change the default browser from Edge, Chrome, or if you like Firefox or whatever the case may be. Okay, app startup. Go through the list of features and apps to see which are set to start when you're starting up your device. Stop what you don't use. May improve your device's startup. They may start up quicker. So you don't game, turn off those apps like Omen and Xbox from starting and startup. Save some time. Accounts. This is where you can add another user account to your device, so you can have your things set the way you want, and the other person can set things the way they want. Time and language. You can adjust your date and time zone. If your device happens to come showing that it's in California. You can also find speech under here, where you can find the speech recognition microphone setup. Under accessibility, there's vision, where you can adjust the overall text size that appears throughout your windows. Your apps, adjust your visual effects like your scroll bars. I hate it that they now disappear into a little tiny thing, and your window naturally overhangs and you can barely touch the scroll bar. So I made it a little wider. Your mouse pointer, you got, and touch, you have options for those as well. Set it the way you want it. Privacy and security, a wide variety of things to review here. Tired of the annoying offers or tips that pop up in your notification? Shut them off. Write-ins, privacy and security. It's in your handout. You don't want things suddenly turning on after an update. Turn improve start and search results off. That is how my OneDrive started.
You repeat that?
If you don't want things suddenly turning on after an update,
Okay.
like a Windows update,
Mhm.
turn improve start and search results. It will stop turning Edge on as soon as you start the computer. Was the last update I did that. It's like, here, try Edge. Thank you. But that's how I determined OneDrive started in the update a couple months ago. Is that this was turned on, so I turned it off.
That was your big problem.
Variety of other similar options to turn off or not are under there too. So under Windows Update, there are options to control here too. Myria being the first to get a non-security update, fixes or improvements, turn it off. So you're more confident the bugs have been worked out on someone else's computer, not yours. You can pause updates 1 to 5 weeks. You can review your update history to learn what it did, which is how.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? So I just wrote it all down.
And then there's other advanced options as well. Note that some of these changes that you're making in here may not take a hold until you restart your device. That's standard operating procedures for a lot of things. So OneDrive. Included with Windows 11, and once you sign into your Microsoft account, it activates and starts syncing. This is my warning to you.
Okay, let us write it down.
It's in there. It's in your handout.
I'm on page 5.
Double, triple
Okay,
check
page 5. Okay.
that OneDrive is set the way you want, not the way Microsoft thinks it should be.
And it starts right when you sign.
Right when you sign into your Microsoft account, it starts up. Starts syncing. Now, the way it starts up is okay.
Starts up.
It's not so damaging. But we'll go through this. This goes for the later updates of Windows 10 as well. Seems to be getting a little more aggressive in there where it wasn't before. And like I said, you may not even realize it's been running. If you're getting messages, you're out of room, the OneDrive. Mac now, aren't you? So if you're a Microsoft 365 Office subscriber, OneDrive is involved with that and part of how it works. Just to let you be aware. So what is OneDrive? It's a file hosting service allowing registered users to store, share, backup, and synchronize files. There are different plan levels, one free and the rest pay, though through either a monthly or a yearly paid plan. OneDrive plans are tied to Microsoft Office 365 plans. So they're software subscription service. The free and the basic plans, which are in your handout, right here, are essentially storage only. Page 6.
Thank you.
They come with just the web and mobile versions of Office 365. The personal and family plans include yearly subscriptions to the desktop versions of the Office programs. For any cloud service, it is best for your Office type files and maybe some image files. You don't want to run your genealogy databases from the cloud. This can cause some problems that you don't want.
I found out.
Oh, you figured it out.
Bobby's used OneDrive for several years, so let's get his take on it because we have vastly different opinions. Okay, Bob.
Microsoft is pushing OneDrive for 3 primary reasons. Number one, it's a revenue source. They're giving you Windows 11 for free. They want to make some money someplace. For some people, it's a great choice. For some people, it's not such a great choice. For me, being able to get Excels and Word files and PowerPoints available on any device, being my desktop, and I was on Windows for many years. I made the change to Mac about 2.5 years ago. But my problem was the file I needed I was on my laptop, and the file I needed was on my desktop. So if it was in the cloud, I could get it from my laptop. Then I added the iPad. I could get it from my iPad or my phone, which came out handy. OneDrive, unlike Apple's version, which is called iCloud, is cross-platform. You can work on iCloud from a PC, but it's very clunky, whereas it's a little bit more seamless using it's in the Apple environment, iCloud is phenomenal. But in the if you've got a Microsoft PC in there, it's kind of clunky. But on OneDrive, it works fairly seamlessly with Android phones. It works seamlessly with iPhones. It works seamlessly with Macs. So it works on any platform. Also, it becomes an automatic backup system, which is something most users don't do well. If you put all of your Office type documents in OneDrive, it copies it up to a Microsoft server, which is fault tolerant and backed up. So even if your computer goes away, your stuff is still there in the cloud, you can bring it back fairly easily. The one thing, and I don't know in Windows 11, I hope they've improved it, but one of the thoughts with iCloud is if say I worked on a Word file and I haven't touched it in 6 months, I'll offload the copy on my PC, so it's not taking up hard drive space at home. Just leaves a little marker file there, and then I can just quickly access it and pull it down
That's how
from the other side.
synchronization works, yeah.
Whereas Apple's very, very good at that. That's how I can get away with using a 256 gigabyte drive and not run out of space. So it does archive. I do use both OneDrive and iCloud, but at work I still have to deal with Microsoft Office. We're a really Microsoft shop. All of our software at work is provided by Microsoft, including our application software. So I love my Macs, but when I'm working, I'm doing all Microsoft stuff. Uh, but you know, they work well for office type documents and JPEG photos. They don't work well for database files like a genealogy program. They don't work well if you're doing a bunch of large TIFF files or large raw files from a digital camera. I did run my RootsMagic database on OneDrive. Didn't cause problems too much on RootsMagic because I would wait for an update from one place to the other. But when I had RootsMagic open, I would get all kinds of error message from OneDrive because it was trying to update the database online and the database was open on the computer. So it works really well with, say, Word or Excel, but it doesn't work so well with your data, you know, you want your genealogy database on your computer, but then you could say save your when you exit and backup, you could save that backup and it'll send a copy up to the cloud. So, but again, you've got a fast enough computer and you're going between two computers with a fast drive, and your genealogy database will work fine. Just take it with you.
So what it does, OneDrive is a synchronization app. You can synchronize your devices, preferences across your devices. This may be what you want. This may not be what you want. So what's listed there, and it's in your handout, is what the settings, preferences that it's syncing. You can synchronize the contents of the user's OneDrive folder. That's its first job. The option can synchronize, referred to as backup, set folders of your user account on your device. And I'll get to that in a second. The image on screen is of the first part it can do, the synchronizing your device's preferences. And this is the part that will qualify you for the ESU program.
Oh, that you were talking about, right?
Yes, ESU program. So that's the part that will qualify you for sending your Windows updates. Its ability at synchronization depends on how much storage access you have. Free 5 GB storage plan will not cover an entire hard drive of one device, let alone 2 or 3. So that's the part that's saving. Oh, this is the 3 ways that OneDrive works. So it's a synchronization app. When you're signed into your Microsoft account, there is you access the app by Windows setting, or the app icon in the taskbar, or using the app list. So there's an app, or module, whatever you want to call it, program, you can see in your taskbar, or you can access by the start menu or through your Windows settings. It's how integrated it is. OneDrive puts a OneDrive folder in your user account folder on the device. When OneDrive is on and syncing, this is its basic function. Anything, file or folder, added to the user's OneDrive folder inside the user account folder on the device will be synced to your OneDrive cloud storage. Don't touch anything else on the computer, only what's in that OneDrive folder. Though a file name appears in the OneDrive folder on the device, the file is actually, assuming you have enough storage space, is actually up in the OneDrive cloud storage, not on the device, until you click to access it, and then it brings it back down to the hard drive. accessing a file and folder, syncs it to the device for use. And eventually, when you're done with it, that file will, after a while, sync it back up to the cloud. You do have an option to have a file or a folder or whatever it is, kept always available offline, which can be changed back to online if desired. You just, let's say I want this file here. I don't want it up in the OneDrive. And yes, it's sitting in the OneDrive folder. Right click, and you tell it to always have available offline.
Pay for the cloud? Is it its own cloud? Understand?
No,
if
OneDrive
you-
is the cloud.
Yeah, OneDrive is the cloud.
Oh, I
So if
didn't
you
know
have
that.
if you have a OneDrive subscription or an Office 365 subscription, you have space in the on OneDrive.
Okay.
Currently, I just checked. I have 148.6 gigabytes sitting up on Microsoft's cloud of my personal files.
What if I don't have a subscription to it?
Then you only have 5 gigabits.
Oh, okay.
That's what saved me.
Okay, so that's where you found your stuff then?
Yeah, I'll get
We'll get to
get to
that.
that. Yeah. All right, let me find my clicker back. Okay, so OneDrive folder, multiple devices using one Microsoft account. So if you have more than one device using the same Microsoft account, then OneDrive is active. Anything file or folder in that device's user account OneDrive folder will be synchronized up to the OneDrive cloud storage. So Microsoft account ME. Device A, users OneDrive syncs to the OneDrive cloud. You know it. Remember, there's a portion on your drive, a folder on your drive. Goes up to your OneDrive, what do we want to call it? Space?
Space.
Because it's not really just a folder, because you can have multiple folders in there. But anyways, it's what sits in your OneDrive folder on your computer. Not sits, but okay. So then you have Microsoft account Me, and you have a device B. User OneDrive syncs up into the OneDrive cloud. And because OneDrive assumes that everything must synchronize, Microsoft account ME's OneDrive syncs everything down to device A user OneDrive account folder. Microsoft ME's OneDrive syncs everything down to device B's user OneDrive folder. Image kind of shows what's happening. OneDrive does not sort which files came from which device. It assumes that you want all files, regardless of device origin, on all devices. This may be what you want if you're the same person with a laptop and a desktop whose contents match for this folder. But it may not be what you want. Mr. Laptop and Mrs. Laptop each have different interests. So they don't want two Mr. and Mrs. Laptops. They'd rather just have their own. Or, they may want to use the OneDrive folder to swap files between the two, and that works out. That's only what's in that OneDrive folder is what's going to synchronize.
What's ME? Okay.
Just a Microsoft account. Mine.
Oh, meaning
so
me.
it's me.
Me, as in me. I'm like, wait, I have to know what that is.
So replace me with your Microsoft user account name or whatever, ID, whatever.
Now, when I create a document and it gives these choices to save it, I put save to this PC.
This PC, and then you choose what folder. And if you
Right.
choose the OneDrive folder in your account, then it will synchronize.
Or
If
if
you
you-
choose another folder, it will not synchronize because
Right.
all it synchronizes is what's in OneDrive folder.
And if you're using Microsoft Office applications, and now Lisa was able to do it the other night, but my experience was if you wanted to turn on autosave, your document had to be on OneDrive.
Okay,
Mine didn't.
I've
I
got
just-
Microsoft.
Because I didn't have it in the final place where I wanted. That's why I didn't turn it on.
I have Microsoft 365.
Yeah.
So it goes to the top, whether
But
it's
default,
saving.
yeah, default, it's going to
It
want
can
to save to
default, it can
OneDrive.
save right straight
I
to
think it is.
OneDrive.
And then sometimes if I'm a secretary for a group.
Uh-huh.
So the next month I want to use some of the stuff, I turn off that automatic,
The autosave.
auto save. So
Yeah.
I can make my changes and then
Mhm.
change it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
okay, I think they're,
one of the advantage of having it up in OneDrive is if you need to share access with somebody, you can, and they have a Microsoft account, you can tag them and
Yeah,
email
that's
them.
a separate share
yeah.
feature, but
Yeah.
it's available.
We have that on our phones too, don't the OneDrive?
You can put
You
OneDrive
can
on a
put
phone.
OneDrive on your phone if you
I have it
want.
on my phone.
I don't.
I have it on my, I don't know why it's there.
Well, it's there because you downloaded the app because it doesn't come default unless it's a Windows phone.
this little choice started coming up this past week. And I'm like,
If it's an Android phone, Google's not going to put Microsoft by default on an Android phone.
Okay, so then my drive could be something different than I'm thinking of?
Well, you have an Android phone's going to come with Google Drive. An Apple phone's
Oh,
going to
that's
come
probably
with
what it is,
Yeah,
a Google
Google
Drive.
Drive,
Okay, got it.
You're
got
fine.
it.
You're fine. You have not been invaded. Okay. Now, OneDrive backup. OneDrive is a synchronization app. It has an optional feature they call backup, but it doesn't operate like true backup apps where another copy of a file or folder is made. It can synchronize the standard set of Microsoft folders. This is inside your user account. So my user account is, usually your name. Mine's Lisa E. And when I got my computer, it had a set of folders in it: desktop, documents, downloads, music, picture, videos.
What does your Microsoft account look like? It would be Lisa E. what?
And just look in your file explorer.
What is, oh,
Yep.
I thought that would be like Lisa E. at or.
No.
That would
This is
be
what's
the
on your
address, but
drive.
on your computer, it's
On
going to
your
be like,
computer, there's a path, file path, C or whatever the drive letter is, colon, // your user account thing, which is a shortened version of your name usually,
I have to look.
/ and then folder name. And you got examples in there
Okay,
somewhere.
Okay.
And so you've got like documents folder,
it's
and
a file for OneDrive, right?
OneDrive folder is sitting in this same user account you're
Yes.
using. So right here, right on there. See users / your name,
Okay.
whatever your account, your name on your computer is, and then the folder name. So documents or downloads. So what it does when you've got backup turned on and it starts right away, you're in the barn with the saddle and the horses down the road. It does this by moving the contents of these standard folders into folders of the same names inside the OneDrive folder, your user account folder, and then syncing these folders and files to the OneDrive account. So it actually moves your files and folders from inside the documents folder into the OneDrive folder in a folder called documents, and it puts all your files there. Then it moves it up, assuming you have enough storage space, up into the OneDrive cloud. So you have a list of your files there, but they're not actually there, assuming you have enough storage. So your original standard Microsoft folders are empty. This is where heart attack ensues. Where's my stuff? So there's two problems. The synchronization, as I keep mentioning, starts immediately when the feature is activated before you have a chance to even select which standard folders you want synced. The option to change that, but till it's done trying to do everything. The synchronization starts immediately with no consideration to the amount of OneDrive storage space you have with your Microsoft account. If you don't have enough cloud space, not all your files and folders are going to be synced up to the cloud. It's a saving grace. This is not what you want to do. The third problem is if your Microsoft account has more than one device and both devices have OneDrive active, OneDrive will proceed to synchronize both devices so both match what is up on the OneDrive again, regardless of if you have enough storage room. Part of what happened to you. Yeah.
Question. Can the OneDrive account be empty?
Yes. We have examples. So OneDrive backup strategy, before, let's say, any of this happens to you, do not use the Microsoft standard folders. Rather, create your own folders in your device's user account folder. And yes, you can do this. You are not stuck putting all your files into the documents folder, all your images into the pictures folder, or your music into the music folder. So the pink highlighted folders are the Microsoft standard folders, the ones that existed in this image. Red ones here, these are shortcuts. That usually is what this list on the left side is, shortcuts that take you to wherever that folder or whatever it is located. So when OneDrive backup starts, initially these shortcuts take you to your user account folder. When OneDrive starts and moves it, what's in your standard folders of your user account folder to the OneDrive folder in folders of the same names, the shortcuts get changed to direct you to the OneDrive folder inside whichever folder, the documents folder. Instead of going to your user account folder, now is going to a documents folder in your OneDrive. A headache. So if you don't use the Microsoft standard folders, keeps them pretty much empty and takes up little room when OneDrive tries to sync them before you can direct it not to do so. So if you're setting your computer up before you're starting to use it, don't use the standard folders. They'll stay pretty much empty and your folders won't disappear from where you're expecting them to be. And if you decide to use the backup, then you'll save yourself a lot of trouble. Your files won't be swept up. And if you have more than one device in your Microsoft account, it's less chance of your files from each device getting mixed up together. That's what happened to me. So, situation number one. Did you enable or unintentionally enable the backup feature? Your missing file folders are inside your OneDrive folder, your user account, but they're actually now up in the OneDrive cloud storage, depending on your storage amount. Not enough? Realize not all the files made it up there. If you only have one device linked to your Microsoft account, not enough OneDrive cloud space, you have two options: buy space or fix the sync problem. Fix the sync problem, make sure your files and folders are on your device. In OneDrive settings, advanced settings, under Files on Demand, click Download all OneDrive files now. We'll estimate the space needed, and once the sync to return the files is completed, you can safely stop the OneDrive backup and syncing if you desire. But remember, syncing is just going to affect the OneDrive folder, not your life. OneDrive does not move your files back from outside of the OneDrive folder. You must manually move the files and folders from within the OneDrive folder back to the standard Microsoft folders or to other folders you create in your device's user account. Situation number two. Same situation, backup got turned on, you've got missing files in the OneDrive cloud storage. If you don't have enough storage space, they're not all up there. So if you have multiple devices with the same Microsoft account, so realize that the files and folders that made it to OneDrive Cloud may be mixed together. Without enough cloud space, If you are lucky, the synced files are from just one of your devices. So again, the solution is to buy space, fix the sync problem. Fix the sync problem in this situation. You have to look at what's got synced up to OneDrive or OneDrive Cloud, and determine which device the items originated from. If you're lucky, they came from one. If you're not lucky, you got to figure out which files came from which device.
Yeah.
So, files all came from one device. Shut off the OneDrive backup and syncing. Once you made sure they're down to your device, then you'll still need to manually move them through the OneDrive. Okay, so let me back up. If you have more than one device and you determined all the files are from one device, you can shut off the OneDrive backup and syncing from the devices. Oops. But it's a touch screen. You can shut off the OneDrive backup and syncing from the devices not involved. Then you go like you did with the first situation. Make sure your files and folders are on your device. And once they are, shut off the backup and then move your files back to where you want them to be. So if you decide not to use the Microsoft standard folders or how to use your OneDrive, consider changing the default save location for many of your applications. This is done either through preferences or options and usually found under save. So for Microsoft Office apps, it allows the user to open and save files directly on OneDrive. You don't want that, and simultaneously you can edit and share whatever. If you don't want it to save onto OneDrive, you go into options once you have the program started, save, and then about in the middle, you can turn it on to save to the computer by default, and then you can choose the file location. Your folder for right now, that one's showing documents. If I didn't want it to be in documents, I could change it to my documents-Lisa folder I created. That's how you do that. Okay. I'm going to relax and Bob's going to take over.
DNA news. MyHeritage, DNA, 23andMe, and Ancestry.
Hang on, let me get it.
Okay. MyHeritage DNA ends uploads. The end of DNA data uploads transfers began about May or June of this year. The decision appears to be security related and not monetary related. MyHeritage's user agreement forbid law enforcement and other non-consumer entities to use the database. MyHeritage became a way that those rules were have been ignored. So rules have been to improve security rules or enforce security rules. Heritage has ended the DNA upload transfer service. That way law enforcement can't use their database by uploading a profile and claiming it to be a customer.
Sorry.
23andMe filed for bankruptcy in March. It was looking like Remagen Pharmaceuticals, a pharmaceutical company, was going to be the buyer. 23andMe founder and former CEO Ann Wojcicki was the buyer in the end. Thank you. I was hoping somebody like MyHeritage would step up and buy them. Estimated 23andMe lost about 15% of their customers who deleted their accounts, not knowing where their DNA profiles were going. I do feel comfortable with Ann Wojcicki being there. She's talking about making it possibly making it a nonprofit. I don't know how she quite got their funding, but 23andMe, in my opinion, has a little bit of a revenue problem since you buy your test and they do have a small subscription to access some of their other things, but they don't have a large integrated base like MyHeritage and Ancestry do with their DNA. So hopefully if she can take it nonprofit, then they're not going to have investor pressure to make tons of money. And they still got to make enough money to keep the lights on and keep the computers running, but certainly they're not going to have investors going, we're not making enough money. So stay tuned on that one.
Sorry.
Ancestry releases their clusters tool, which is part of Pro Tools. Good. It's confusing.
Okay.
It's very confusing. The colored boxes indicate shared DNA. You can mouse over them to get a summary.
This is an example of the summary.
Yeah, there's
right here.
yeah. Dark and diagonal indicates that that's the person themselves. The empty holes in boxes in each cluster indicates less than 20 centimorgans are shared by those individuals. Could be even 0, but we don't know that for sure. The match can only be in one cluster. So the gray boxes indicate a shared match as well as but other shared matches with less than 2/3 of the other clusters. So that's why you have the colored matches and then the gray matches. Clusters are organized by size rather than inclusion. So you may see a super square cluster and a gray form from a larger cluster.
If it was by inclusion, you would see the, like up there, the orange and the gray that's over there. Which is actually the pink from down there. You can see father's side on in a situation if the clusters were organized by inclusion rather than size, because this is big to small, the pink would be up here next to the in the place of the salmon there.
Right.
And so these gray boxes would appear right in here and right in here. And so that indicates a supercluster, meaning oranges are from one of the parents and that are in common, and the pink or the other colors from the other.
The theory of the clustering is helping you to identify your 4 grandparents. Ideally, you should have 4 sets of clusters. Each cluster will represent one of your grandparents. It's similar to what I presented on the leads method when I did DNA earlier this year. It's a simplified version that they do for you instead of you having to go through your matches and your match list. I was excited when it came out. When I looked at my results and I looked compared to my lead results, I was kind of like,
If it was by inclusion, it would be more helpful,
Yes.
but that's over at a different site. The number of clusters will vary.
yes.
Usually
Blood
about
test,
4 to
right?
6.
Is it a blood test? No.
No. This is if you've taken an ancestry DNA test and it's comparing you with your shared matches from other end.
How do you take it? And is it written?
It's a spit
Spit.
test.
Oh, what the?
There's
Okay.
2 ways that the
Do
DNA
they share it with the
DNA
other people, or can you do it and have them not share it?
Well, pretty much when you can
Put it out there. It's out
when you
there.
put it out there. You can opt to not
include yourself in the shared.
in the shared.
So you won't see the shares and they won't see you.
Yeah.
They
But
won't
you
tell me
could
who they
put-
are.
Well, no. Well,
So you won't, if you opt not to be included in
shared.
with shares, you won't see them. What you'll basically get is your ancestry ethnicity estimates. That's all you'll get.
Otherwise, they'll give you names then, right?
Well,
They'll
it
give
depends on
you.
how the person has identified themselves.
Yeah, they'll give you their username or their user account.
Okay, that's something I can think about another day.
Yeah, we did a whole presentation on DNA last spring
Spring, yeah.
and on how to manage your clusters and whatnot, predominantly with Ancestry. But it's a helpful tool. It's a little quicker than doing a leads chart, but I think the leads chart is a little bit more definite, and we got to get that video up to the web.
A leads chart?
Yeah, it's a method developed by a genealogist by the name of Diana Leeds.
No. data
data
leads.
leads,
LEADS?
LEEDS.
LEE.
Okay.
And it helps you, basically it's how a lot of the search angels are finding adopted grandparents and NPEs because they can identify grandparents
Clusters
couple.
show who your matches match, which may help you figure out unknown matches. So if you know who this matches and that matches, and you're all sharing this match, you know
Where they're fit on
where
your
that
tree.
unknown match fits in your tree pretty much, and you can sometimes figure out who it is, even though they're using like a non-diploma, just a generic username.
They may not have a tree up there.
And they may not have a tree. Some may.
Yeah,
may
some
not.
may, some may not.
So there's various ways to work with DNA.
Yes.
And the colors are arbitrary.
Unfortunately,
I have four clusters. A couple of my siblings have 6 because we're getting nice, tight, little, tiny cluster of shared matches on the great grandparent level.
Oh, okay.
And so if clusters were by inclusion, it'd be part of a super cluster.
that would sometimes help that scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yep.
Genealogy software. What's going on? Family Tree Maker finally released Family Rich Tree 2024 on May 11th of 2025. It fixes some known bugs in, what was it, 2019?
Yeah.
I should know. I have both. I haven't installed 2024 yet.
I haven't either.
It did.
No, but I'm checking.
Added features. It's easy on the eyes. It has a contact workspace, which will use pre-vault, which basically you can use Macomb cloud to put your genealogy up into the
Save right now
save your backup of
your main
genealogy.
tree, or whichever tree you designate to go up into the
Only
tree.
one
vault.
tree.
One tree right
One
now.
tree.
If we can get the war to end, and then they can work on expanding it to more than one tree.
And hopefully their US trees are not in Ukraine and they're in the US.
I don't know where the actual cloud is.
Yes, I know.
I'm not using Revault at this point.
Yeah, neither am I. I don't use Family Tree Maker as my primary anyway, so.
I do, but I'm not using it. I back up to externals.
Yes.
And they're still working on the album walk, which sounds really neat and similar to a lot of what MyHeritage is doing photo wise. So hopefully they can get that done too.
So is this Family Tree Maker going to work on Windows 11? Well,
Yep,
And
it's
it will work on Windows 11. It will work on Mac.
okay. But now, when I retired in 1999, gift I received was Family Tree Maker, which I installed on my computer, which is still on there. It's never been updated at all.
Do you know what version it is?
It's the first version that ever.
Okay. Yeah.
Like 08 or something. back
Well,
then.
that's probably not going to work on Windows 11. Number 2 is when we do the update, that update is not going to go smoothly. I did a update of Family Tree Maker 2006 to 2012. Of course, it didn't help that that database had over 100,000 individuals in it for someone. But that was not a very smooth process because genealogy software has changed immensely since 1999.
That update won't update until you verify your account.
Well, yeah, you've got
This
to
part is going to go fast.
verify, you've got to
We need
verify your account. But like I said, with the older software, you're probably going to need some help with that update.
we have to update by steps, like from 08 to 12 to
Well,
15,
what's the biggest
something like that.
the biggest problem, I think, in 08 was
If not, then
they
I'll just go.
they changed the location date, how locations are handled.
It takes me a while to get out of yours.
They were a
It's just
free-form text file prior to that. So people put anything in there, whether they followed normal genealogical conventions for
And if you found it, but I just don't.
I'm here
locations
Tuesday
or
nights,
not.
or Tuesday
But
afternoon.
I think it was in 08
No,
because they would geocode the locations so you could map
because I
them.
would have my guidance on it, I don't know.
They went to, it has to pretty much follow standard genealogical conventions.
Are you here when?
And that's where the problems in the updates come because, like, for example, we had, I had a location that was for a burial under a
I
tree.
can do that. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously that doesn't fit.
What about Yugoslavia?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have something like a country, it's probably not going to be a problem because that's
It's
standard.
all been chopped up since.
Well, yeah. Well, again, if they use a modern geobase, that's a little easier to work with because I've done it. I think I've done it in Family Tree Maker. I do it in RootsMagic. I'll list a location based on the original location, but I can actually geocode off of the modern location.
They give you drop down suggestions. I ran into that with Germany.
So
So,
Yeah.
what would you recommend I do with this original non-updated family tree maker? Should I just buy this $30 thing and wait a year and then worry about it then? Let Windows 10 run it?
Well, if Windows 10's running it, we can see if we can kludge it to run on Windows 11. I mean, that's if we can get our hands on a copy of the software.
Probably not able to sync to Ancestry.
Well, no,
With that old
never
version.
originally they
No.
didn't have Ancestry sync.
No, I know.
I mean, worst case scenario, we got a GEDCOM file. And there's things we can figure out. It just depends on how big your database is. But
Which version?
Well,
That's what you'd have to check.
like I said,
the last
this
time.
was given to me
He
in
thinks it's-
1999.
I'm the one who guessed 2008. That's what I started with. My cousins had even older versions.
yeah,
Right.
well,
I
20,
met them in
well,
2008.
2008 was a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From
So
2006
from
because
1999, he's probably got.
There was some alphabet letters.
I mean that sounds like when it was originally the Bordabund.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
I think
12 or no.
you could always create a GEDCOM file and anything should be able to import
Yeah. Well, the newer versions of Family Tree Maker can read the older ones, depending on how old they are. And if they are older, then they've got a way to work around it.
Yes.
And they can help you through the live chat.
But if I bought this one, the 2024 version, they might be able to.
Well, I can probably work with it. Work with you on it.
Okay.
I mean, I've been there. I've done this before. It's been a while. It was a pain. We can get it updated. You're probably going to have to do a bunch of data cleaning after you get into the new software.
Okay. Thanks, Phil. Lovely.
Your son built your computer, right?
Pardon?
Your son built your computer?
Yes.
Okay. He would be the one to ask whether it's better for you to use the sync the preferences.
Mhm.
And then that way you can get the ESU program free, extension free,
Okay.
or whether it's less hassle to just pay the $30 and do it that way. So ask,
Yes.
Yeah.
since
yeah,
he
okay.
knows your system,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
ask him, his advice regarding that. And he can, if he says the syncing the preferences would be the way to go, then he can set that up for you. Is the computer on the internet at all? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
got it?
Other software, Legacy Family Tree released June 2024. Is it totally free?
Mhm.
So they're not even,
Because MyHeritage owns it.
oh, okay, so they don't have the 2 tiers
No,
anymore.
no.
But it's Windows only. So if you're on a Mac, you're out of luck with Legacy. RootsMagic 10 released June of 2024, $39.95. If you have an existing version, it's $29.95. They do have a free Essentials version.
It's one of the 2 programs.
Yeah, RootsMagic and Family Tree Maker the current Family Tree Maker will sync with Ancestry's member online tree. RootsMagic also will pull hints from FamilySearch, MyHeritage, and Find My Past.
Sorry.
FamilySearch, what's going on? FamilySearch, new interface. Well, it's not released yet. They're working on the new interface. Test it out, give them your thoughts. And I've heard also that the full text search feature is going to leave their labs and become part of the normal interface, which when that happens, it'll make it a little bit easier to find that because I love that feature. For those of you who aren't aware,
Which is.
thank you.
Talking about.
I
I know that box real well.
Yeah, the
Yep.
full text search. Basically, in RootsMagic, RootsTech 2024, they released 2024.
Earlier this year.
No, they actually released it last year, I thought. Because I've been using it for a lot longer than RootsTech.
They released it just before 2025.
Okay, all right. With a few collections, but basically they've applied optical character recognition to handwriting text. And even though it's not 100% accurate, it is phenomenal. As of August 24th, they have 4,212 collection titles. It's worldwide. Some very small collections, some huge collections. One of the first collections they did was their property database collection. So it's a little tricky sometimes learning how not to get too many results. But if you're looking for a deed, especially an old deed that was handwritten, it's phenomenal.
Game changer.
Yes, game changer. Ancestry beta handwriting requisition, OCR transcription. They just released this in August. To have it available, you need to be on a World Explorer subscription package or larger. You fill out the description information and link it to a person in your tree to activate the transcribe button. It can transcribe English, Spanish, French, German, and more. So basically, if you have a handwritten document and want to transcribe it, or you've got a handwritten document from Ancestry and want a transcription, you can apply this.
Whereas FamilySearch is applying it to their collections, Ancestry, you upload your image or you use, one of the documents you found on there, rather than them doing it to everything. Kind of more like using Transcribus, which is a handwriting
Transcription
AI
service.
transcription service.
So look, if you had a document 150 years old, written in English, but the script is so difficult to understand, that will fix it.
Yeah, well, it's going to transcribe it. It may not get you 100%, but it's going to get you in the ballpark.
Really?
Yeah,
That
see
is
here,
incredible.
the lower image here. I'm not sure where I like my pen. The text on the right of the image was the transcription that the Ancestry's AI did of the handwritten text. This is a deed document from the 1820s from Albany County, New York.
Is that right?
And I could read it. I've had it for years, but I thought this would be a good example. And so it puts it in there. Now, some other services will keep, like Sammy Ryder is one line and, keep it per line, matching lines. This one, it just kind of all runs together and then you got to clean it up. It doesn't save the transcription that it makes. So you got to copy and paste it into the details transcription or into a Word document.
Ancestry Club 1890. Everybody get their invite? I, out of the blue, got an invitation to join Ancestry Club 1890 back in July. Probably because I'm on the top tier of current top tier of Ancestry. Now, Ancestry Club 1890 is going to be the new top tier. The invitation only membership, it costs $5,000 a year.
I didn't get an invitation, but now I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, I can see them selling it to some people, but not me. Part of what it provides is a personalized experts coaching, monthly 30-minute one-on-one sessions, weekly group coaching sessions with professional genealogists. Yeah, that's not $5,000 worth. Exclusive VIP supports like priority phone support and early access as collections. I'm not going to tell you my opinion of Ancestry's phone support right now, but not very good. $100 gift card for Ancestry swag will be premium benefits, 15% discounted Ancestry Pro genealogist service, saving with travel partners, $150 credit for family chart masters, an Ancestry All Estics subscription, which I'm already paying for. Ancestry supply of 4 AncestryDNA plus traits kits. Been there, done that. Exclusive events, access to in-person experiences, Ancestry headquarters, premium workshops, and exclusive virtual events, and Ancestry Preserve Access. They're also saying they're going to do priority seating at conferences like Roots Tech, which I find interesting because Roots Tech is not their conference, it's FamilySearch's, even though they're a big sponsor. So they're saying it's a $10,000 value. I don't see where. If you're interested in the personalized coaching, we have a whole group of genealogy volunteers here at the library.
We're free.
With the change of hours, we're free. Come in once a month and visit us. We're usually not that busy. Lisa's here 4 to 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, and I'm here 4 to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. But we've got coverage from 10 to 3 on Mondays. Janet's here 10 to 3 on Tuesday and Thursday. Glenn's here 3 to 6. Ann's, you can sometimes catch her in the morning on Friday. And Lee's here 12 to 5 on Friday. And Saturday, we're back to Saturday openings starting this month. Lee should be here tomorrow, followed by Ashley. Carol, you're on the schedule. And Brittany will be the 4th. And certainly if we're not here, one of the library staff is here and they'll be glad to help you and hear you out as well. And Lisa and I have been working with them and they're getting much better.
I just said, how long have you been a member? It says long-time subscribers.
Probably off and on since.
This subscription that they were given,
Yeah.
there were some people that were.
Pardon?
23 years for me.
Yeah, well, again, I think a lot of it.
I joined a couple of years after they started.
Yeah,
So
I've
been
been
a
a-
long time member.
I've been
And
a long
if you're
time
an
member.
active user.
Well,
if you're
active, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I didn't join
active,
until right before I
and
retired.
a lot of it too. I don't think they pushed it out to the free accounts, figuring they're pretty much not interested. I knew I got mine because I'm on all access, all areas. I'm on their top tier. So they're already getting a big chunk of my changes.
Okay, yeah, I don't have world membership, so maybe that's part of it.
So what are their costs these days?
Pardon?
Costs of with Ancestry?
Depends on what level.
Well, the holiday just came and they were sending out those.
50% offs.
Right. And then it was like $100, I think, for 6 months, so $200 a year.
Yeah, and
Sounds like
again, that
112.
I think that's US only.
But that's not world.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because I'm on World Explorer plus newspapers plus Fold 3 plus I have Publisher's Edition on Fold
I come here
3.
for that stuff.
And I have
If you go
Pro
on
Tools.
our group's blog website and then click on like Ancestry on the labels, and you can see past articles as for when they put sales. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, almost always have gift memberships 50% off.
I'll buy myself a gift.
Yeah, Mother's Day, Father's Day,
Yeah.
it's another time to look.
So I know several members, they spend the summer golfing and all that stuff, so they only get a 6 month, they start it when they get it, and then by the time they're ready to start golfing, you know, they let it cancel, make sure it doesn't, because a gift subscription won't automatically renew. So they let it cancel and then they wait for the next time it's on sale and pick up again.
Well, right now for $40, you can get the DNA test for 3 months free.
Yeah.
Ancestry.
Right.
But I can't do that for myself after you've done it once, right? Because that's the cheapest.
No,
way
because
to
then
go.
you'll come up with a twin. That happens.
Well, you can give the test to someone else to do, and then
And
if
then
it's
their
it
test will be.
they'll have, there's different ways to do this. If they
Sometimes you gotta be sneaky.
and then they create just a free Ancestry user account, then they can go in and let's say it's a family member, a cousin or something like that. Then they can go in and click on, so that you give them your user ID to be a viewer or even a manager of the test. Let's say, okay, I'm interested in doing it, but I really don't want to deal with it. So they can have you manage the DNA test. That's what I do for all the other 7 tests that I have. There's one there that I'm a viewer of my cousins that I will eventually inherit. And so, I manage my siblings, my moms, my uncle and my half-great uncle. So there are ways to do it. I think they just had a membership offer. I'll look in my emails and see if that still is going on. The gift membership for half off,
It's better than any other deal for 3
Yeah,
months.
for 3 months, yeah.
Like $80 for 6 months versus the 112 or whatever it is. I'm like, wow. Plus you get the free test. It used to be at the very lowest bargain basement sale, $50. So
Yeah.
important people.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to trick them.
You find someone to test.
Yes.
All right, next.
When it's explained. I'm gonna let Lisa kind of explain that one.
Okay, so Evidence Explained is by Elizabeth Shawn Mills. It's the Bible, you could say, for genealogy, sourcing, and citations. He released the 4th edition back in January 2024. It has taken a bit for this to get around that in the 4th edition, the quick models were replaced by the use of 14 templates formats. It sort of simplifies the process you use to create a source and a citation. So templates 1 to 5 cover adapting a basic format, publications for the common forms of published materials. Books, a simple website, books with parts by different authors, a journal, a magazine article, a newspaper article, a complex website with multiple articles or databases. Templates 6 to 11 cover adapting the basic format, unpublished works, or the common forms of unpublished work materials. Basic authored manuscript, private holdings, either an artifact or a manuscript document, formal archives, same thing, government corporate office, record book for loose files, online image, like a name database or versus no name database, and preservation microfilm. And templates 12 to 14 cover 3 types of records for which unique constructions are needed. Birth or death certificate, that's not a family artifact. Census, an online image versus preservation film, and a gravestone where you viewed it personally. So I bought the book pre-order. This is the new one. No, this is gonna be hard to say. Okay, so this is the 3rd edition. This is the 4th edition. 153 pages less. Still covers everything.
Mr. Trent smaller.
No. She's made some condensing. My 3rd edition is well tabbed. We have tabs for different reasons. And my 4th edition, I've just sort of started, not for it, you know. So the chapter 3 is where all the templates are. And it's got a explanation portion in the front. So template 1, they've got example for book and website. And I didn't put this in the slide because technically this is her work. So the ones in the room will have a chance to look at the book. The ones not in the room, I hope you got the book or the digital. So it's a chart with the basics, author, creator, title, descriptor, place of publication, publisher date, and specific item. So the example kinds of fills in the table what those are for the source and citation you're dealing with. And then it shows you how to string it together into a citation, a source citation. It's kind of a bit more helpful than the quick models were. And then you can see which template in, because unfortunately Family Tree Maker 2024 did not update their source citations, you know, what's there. RootsMagic does it a little better on that, but there, you know, when you compare, this is 4. These are my notes from when I was using it. Basically, this is the Family Tree Maker, and then what one fits best for the way the information is organized. So do I spend a little too much time sourcing and citing? Maybe. I mean, I even go so far as when I'm designing these is color coding them. So, but that's for the ones that do I still need to go back into my sources and citations and fix some things? Yes. Especially the stuff that
Who's the author of that?
Elizabeth Schoen Mills. Elizabeth, and it's SHOWN. Last name is Mills, MILLS. Now, she also had her 3 quick sheet. Kind of takes it down, and I think from there she went to the templates.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to look at my books.
Why would we want to go to that effort? I'm just the devil's advocate.
Well,
I want to print a darn book someday.
Look, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But leaving things for our generations to come, so they can backtrack and verify my work.
Exactly. Yes.
yes.
Will they be able to do that? Because so often I try and follow down someone's reference. And websites are closed and so much is gone. You know?
Right. And that's where if your source citation is sufficient enough, it's referencing the original So, like in the case of the deeds and things like that, I've used deeds before they were digitized. So, I've got from third edition, I've got a multi-layered, source citation that starts off with the FamilySearch microfilm. No, this is this. And then for the ones that I've accessed digitally, I can use that same format and then say accessed and then refer to the FamilySearch website and location, image 20 of 400, from this particular volume or even the digital microfilm number. And then that way, one source citation works for whether I looked at the microfilm or the digitized version. Just me. Yes, I can include the accessed, but I don't always. Because I've been back and forth so many times that if I've modified the image and made it more readable, cleaned it up, and my modified date runs over the date that I actually saved the file. So all depends. And with that, it's the end.
Yes.
Can I just ask, does anybody in here have the FamilySearch app on their phone? Because are you familiar with the feature Find Relatives Around Me? I had so much fun with that. With my meetings with the French Canadian Heritage Society and even the Audubon group, because you open the app and there's a little thing here and you hit Relatives Around Me. Please. And I went to my class reunion and found out I was relatives with some of my classmates from high school and the president of our Audubon group. You ready? Okay, do I need help?
That's on FamilySearch.
Yeah.
So
I open the app and then it has search historical records, find a person, relatives around me, memories gallery, improved place names, map, blah, blah, blah. So you hit relatives around me and scan for relatives. And like right now, it's got my face and it's scanning.
You're not related.
And that sometimes comes up. You're not coming up yet.
what it does is it compares their
Okay,
their
David
entries in
Lambert,
the
not related.
FamilySearch family tree.
Right. Okay, we're not related.
So if they had overlap, it would show how they're related.
Yeah. Right. But it's a fun thing to play with. I found out I was seventh cousins, twice removed with a woman I've known for 20 years. We worked together at the library and she's Mormon. He's the one who told me about this.
Okay.
And, anyways, it's fun. It was free.
Thank you all for putting
Thank
up
you.
with the long.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bob.
We hope my travails will help you avoid them.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything you're doing.
Hey, nice to see you. Hey. Oh, Connie, no, it's in your OneDrive storage area. So, no, Microsoft's AI does not use your information or its search tool.
We have Let's Talk on Wednesday, 6:30, in person in the Genie Room or on Zoom. And we will be publishing the October meeting schedule shortly.
As soon as we figure it out.
Yes. We kind of have a date, we just don't have a topic yet.
Yeah. If you got a topic idea, let me know.
Yes.
The meeting is Wednesday. It's Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. That's our Let's Talk. The topic for this month's Let's Talk meeting is where do I go from here? So this is our kind of genealogist help me show and tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got to share, you want to share with like-minded genealogists, it's a great place to share. It's a great place to get some ideas of where to go next.
Thank you for watching. Our October Friday meeting will be hybrid, meaning it will be in person and virtual using Zoom. Last but not least, MCGG extends its thanks to the Mount Clemens Public Library and its staff for hosting this Zoom meeting. Goodbye, everyone.